Oh, hello there. Welcome to my boat shed. My name is Panu and I am building here my sailboat, you can see there. And I'm just about to start some CNC machining with my self-built CNC machine here. We're making ballast keel timbers for this boat. If you've been following my videos, you probably know what I'm talking about. What we're gonna start with is to clean up this mess. We have to get all the extra things out from this CNC table, especially these metal rods and all the screws, making sure that there's anything that that thing can crash into. And then we're gonna start with three programs, yes. So the first program is to smooth the surface. There is now actually installed the surface cutting tool that we will plane the surface basically into the certain thickness so that we can get the right thickness out from these. There should be a couple of millimeters extra. Then we're gonna drill holes, or actually bore holes, for the keel bolts. And I changed the program so that the bolt holes will be extra large. So there should be 3 millimeters extra on every side. And after that we're gonna pour epoxy into those holes to create full epoxy kind of blob in there. And tomorrow, when that is being cured, we're gonna bore the actual keel bolt hole into that epoxy. So there is no access from the hole into the wood through that hole. And the last program actually is to make the final shape of the part. And the result should be ready to go ballast keel timber, or start of that, because it's gonna be significantly thicker in most parts, but we'll get back into that later. This project is sponsored by Green Turtle Epoxy and their distributor in Finland, Materialshop.fi. They have wide variety of materials for making boats like this and also much smaller things. Go and check them out. Okay, it seems to be working. It's taking just a very small passes. I think there is 2 or 3 passes altogether. So now it's just slightly taking off from the surface, and second time it should go all the way through. All right, now this should be 50 millimeters thick. Let's check it quickly here. 50.5, so I think it's close enough. Sounds a little bit dangerous though, but all right, the holes are done. Now I dry fitted this keel mold or template here to check them, and yeah, they align. This template misses one hole, by the way. There should be one hole in there. It's okay. Now let's go and mix some epoxy to pour it to those holes. And I'm thinking maybe I should put a little doubles there in the middle to kind of save some epoxy, because yeah, it's mostly wasted. The amount of epoxy I actually need is just 3 millimeters around there, so rest of it, it's gonna get cut out. So maybe I could put a double there in the middle. All right, now I will mix some epoxy and fill those holes. And oh, the camera battery is dying. I'll show you the results in just a moment. Okay, now it's the next day and the epoxy has cured in those holes, and I kind of messed up. Some of them, the doubles I put there, didn't stay where they should have been staying. So for example, this one, it's right on the edge there. So yeah, I think I try to make the actual holes. Most of them are probably okay, but for those where that dowel went right on the edge, I might try again. We'll see how it looks after we do this. Okay, this was weird. Nothing that I expected. So the issue most probably is that the epoxy wasn't totally cured, or the blade just melted the epoxy down, because yeah, that spins like at 12,000 RPM. Or it might be both at the same time. So it wasn't fully cured yet, and also it melted it down a little bit. So all these holes are now big mess. And here you can see the kind of flexible stuff that it came out. All right, I think I'm gonna clean this up a little bit, maybe with a drill bit to get all the things out and run it again. Yeah, it's all about learning new stuff. Okay, new try. All right. It actually didn't break. It just got loose. Yeah, it was pretty intensive cut. Yeah, you can see here, this was the edge that it was supposed to cut, and this was the level that it actually cut. So it got loose somewhere over there and went deeper and deeper and deeper, and then in here it just flew off. I hate these deep cuts. Okay, things didn't go according to plan today. Well, first a little bit of a mess with those holes, then the bit got loose. Well, after I put it again, it worked fine, but now I obviously put it too high, so the collet, that action point there, touched slightly to this wood, so there's now this nice black burned edge all over this piece. That is still not done. It took 2 hours to machine this side. It didn't go all the way around yet. I need to continue with that tomorrow, but I need to change the bit a little bit lower to avoid that. And now it's too late for me to continue with this, so we'll continue tomorrow, I hope. Okay, it's a couple of days later. Yesterday we got the thing's finished. I was super busy, so I didn't manage to film anything of that. But now they are here, and let's take a closer look. So as you can see, there's this nice dark edge right here, but here you can see the glued and finished surface. This is now routed to absolute right shape, this whole thing, and it should fit up there. We'll see about that. But what I need to do for this yet is to sand this a little bit, because now there are some epoxy remains of those, making those holes. Other side is also maybe a little bit rough. There's still the plastic, so there's some epoxy over there, so I need to sand this as well. So let me sand these first, and we'll see how they fit. You don't want to see any sanding, do you? If you do, put a comment down below. I think it's a little bit boring. But there's one more thing we need to do before we actually can lift that there, because here is a small radius here on both sides, and they are for covering this whole thing eventually with some fiberglass and paint, and sharp corners are not really good when doing fiberglass things. All right, it's now the next weekend. I've been a little busy a few days, and yesterday I went to the last ride of the season with the snowboard. I only had snowboard twice now this year, so it was a little bit of a slow season in that regard. Anyway, let's now continue with the work here. Today's agenda for me is to actually glue now this pile finally onto the boat. And before we start with that though, I want to finish these. And I started to sand them. It's quite a big job, and it's not completely flat on this side. There's a little bit of a kind of this shape from the plastic and things like that. So I think I'm gonna plane these with the planer. So I now have set up the planer over there, open the door. There's only one little problem, and that is the fact that one screw snapped inside there. So that is a screw head. The other side is snapped off, and I need to get rid of this. Ah, god damn it! The head snapped off. Woo! All right, mission successful. I got the screw out. Now it's free of any metal. And just like that, they are done. They look quite good. There is a couple of those small voids there. I need to fill those later, but they don't really matter anything. Now I just want to focus to get those done, and we'll get back into installing these in just a moment. But let me put a time lapse for putting these in. That will take maybe 6 hours or so. I have plenty of snacks and lunch with me here, and yeah, now I just want to get over with that. All right, it's now around 6 hours later and it is now done. And that feels super good. And I'm not actually that exhausted as I was afraid. But yeah, now it's done. There's plenty of squeeze out. Maybe a little bit too much epoxy there, but yeah, more is better than too little, I guess. So yeah, now that is done, and actually that is a bit of a milestone because now all the packings and the reinforcements in here are done. Next I just need to shape them. That shouldn't be that big of a deal. Just power planer and a few hours and that's it. All right, now it is time to try putting these over there. And I'm pretty sure that they won't go there with the first try. So I'm mentally prepared that I need to fix these a little bit to be able to push them through. Well, they should be pretty okay. We'll see about that. This is pretty tight fit. Yeah, I need to lift this frame off before that, and that's the reason this frame is not glued in, because yeah, it would be impossible to push them from here through because it collides with this one. So let's lift this first and we'll see what happens. One little detail I might not have mentioned yet, at least not recently, is that these are not going to be straight in the boat. Like, I mean, I have the shape of the keel here, so they won't be straight in the boat, but they will kind of point a little bit to the middle, like this. And also they will be a little bit like that. And those slots over there should be in right position regarding to that. And this aft end of this piece is also in that angle, so this shouldn't be straight when I'm having it standing here on the floor like this. So it will fit into that last frame. A little bit hard to explain, but anyway, this should, in theory, fit right through there and fit into that last frame it touches back there. So yeah, now I just need to make sure that I put it right way up or down. Yeah, it goes like this actually. This should be now right when I put it like this. And this side over there, it should be right. They are heavy. Oh, one more thing. I need to make a radius here. And for that, I'm gonna use this one. I actually have the big radius bit over there, and actually, I just remembered that Bosch sent me this. This is brand new. Only problem is that I don't have single one of bits that fits in here yet, so we'll use the small one. But this is nice. Okay, now we are ready to try it. Almost. It's so heavy. All right, apparently the microphone was off when I explained what I was doing there. Sorry about that. Anyway, now the first side is almost there. It fits actually surprisingly well. I was a little worried that these slots were a little bit off from side to side or something, but yeah, it fits surprisingly well. I sanded them a little bit bigger all the way because it was just too tight to be able to push it through. But now it moves there quite nicely. This last one, this one is a little bit off from that side. I need to open it a little bit more. Now it's too late. I'm gonna continue this tomorrow, but actually quite pleased how this turns out. This looks very nice and fits quite well in there. Okay, after a little bit of fiddling with that last one, this thing is now on its place, dry fitted, and it fits super nicely there. You can see the holes for the keel bolts on both sides of these frames and over there, and they are actually pretty nicely on their places. And this went in there after a little bit of adjusting that side over there. So yeah, it looks really nice. It's now in the right position, and the next thing is of course to glue it in. Before that, I want to fit the other side as well. I think I'm gonna do that off camera because, well, this is pretty much the same thing on the other side, and we'll get back into this when we start to glue that in. But I really need to get this video done before that, I'm afraid. And that said, I think it's now enough for this video. And in next one, we're gonna continue with these and probably starting to shape the actual keel timber slot over there. Maybe do some additional things like the bulkhead. We'll see about that. Of course, thank you so much for watching. If you have been enjoying this process and my project here, please push the like and subscribe to the channel, of course. And if you want to support me even more, there's plenty of ways to do that. First one is the Patreon, second one is the t-shirts. You can also purchase these headphones I'm using here from the link down below. I get a little bit of a commission of those. And then please share my channel in Facebook groups or anywhere that there might be interested people, because I really would like to have more views and subscribers in this channel in order to make even better videos and put some more time in this. Thank you again, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. And by the way, the noise you can probably hear is just a very, very windy day outside. The whole tent is kind of blah, blah, blah.